All right, gang, it's just some mindfulness, being aware of what we're saying to ourselves, some positive self-talk. It's so easy to get in our heads and just be negative. So sometimes we just need to kind of check into the positivity. So sales is the transfer of energy, period. Nobody wants to deal with a low-frequency individual. Can we all agree with that? Think of somebody who's low frequency in your life right now. I know some people who are low frequency. I don't talk to them. They're too low frequency. Every time I go around, they're this stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be around you. I need high frequency. So when we do those check-ins, that's what we want to remember. We are high frequency individuals. We're going to live high frequency lives. And when we're selling, we're trying to bring our positive nature in ourselves through integrity, a good product, all these things. This is our life force that goes into this type of job because it can be draining. So just some of those check-ins sometimes to get us grounded for who we really are, to get rid of some of those negative self-talks and remind us that we are good. We're good enough, okay? So great job. Give yourself a hand. So we're going to do some sales training today. I'm going to go through the sales cycle. There's a few different types. I had a dream last night and I changed the sales cycle. All I did was move objections over here because we're going to teach on doors, okay? In the home, it's going to be a little bit different. But on the doors, I want to go through the sales cycle before to kind of reacclimate everybody that's newer in the room and then refresh everybody that's been here, okay? The sales cycle is the process that each individual has to go through in order to transact. So I'm just going to go through the list, right? So prospecting. The definition of prospecting is finding the client most likely to buy in the moment, right? That means who is a buyer right now? Not later, not maybe somebody's home, not, right? What does that mean? For us, on doors, number one best look is what? 2 cars are in the driveway. It's my number one best look. It's likely that somebody's in there. Second best look, decision maker's car is in the driveway. Last look, non-decision maker's car is in the driveway. So when I'm prospecting, especially in the day in the heat or any time in the day, I'm always looking for my number one best looks. Who can buy what I'm selling right now? And everything else I'm marking. Okay, so that's the definition of prospecting. The definition of qualifying is the art of revealing direction. What this means is that each person has something that they think, right? And when we're walking up to the door, we can assume a few things. One, if we prospected well, right, we've used our technology, we think there's somebody behind the door, we've done a title check, we can reasonably assume that they're the homeowner and that they appear to have good credit based on our technology or what we're seeing, that they're capable of having solar, but they don't have it. There's a few assumptions I can make in there. The number one assumption I can make in there is that they don't have it because they don't want it. So when I encounter somebody, the first thing that I'm trying to do after my initial pitch and smoke screens and all that, I'm not going to teach you guys, you have to learn how to maneuver past the smoke screen. But when you get into a conversation with somebody, you need to qualify. You need to reveal direction. Your main objective in the conversation is to determine exactly why they do not have solar, to identify their specific objection or objections, and to overcome those with rationale, reason, and logic. Otherwise, they will not purchase because they're still stuck on why they don't want it. One of the biggest mistakes people make here is they're just trying to pitch. Jojo, will you unplug that garage door for me? It's stopped. What people do is they want to come in and they found a person and then they want to start talking about the solar. Hey, I got the solar. It's great. Hey, the net meter. Hey, the Nevada thing's changed. Hey, the tax credit's going. Hey, this is all happening. And they're just like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not interested. 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 And then your energy, you were like, I was with Lee this morning and we did breath work and I was pumped up and I went out and nobody was interested. I suck. And then here comes the negative self-talk. And then we say, I had a conversation with Josh today and he had a whole dialogue of why they weren't interested, because that's going to be my next question. Why weren't they interested? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know. They just said they weren't interested. You didn't qualify, right? So when we look at qualifying, we want to look at diagnose and prescribe. So they're sick. There's something wrong or misunderstood that they're not conceiving that gives them a lack of value for your product that's in their head where their paradigm has not shifted to, hey, I want to see that. The only way to get to that point with a human being on a door is to first understand why they don't have it. That's qualifying. Qualifying is the art of revealing direction. I don't go to each person and assume that their objections, questions, or concerns are all the same. Now, in the kind of stratosphere of solar and objections, there's not that many. In fact, there's really only 7. But they're going to fall into the category of one of these. And I need to find out which one specifically applies to them, determine what they mean by that, where they found that information out, and then attempt to overcome what they think they know with factual knowledge. So when I say the art of revealing direction, I mean the art of revealing direction. Because if I can find out why you don't like it, what you think about it, or what's wrong with it, and I can have a cognitive conversation with you about that and use facts to change the way that you think about it, I then can get you to sit down. But until I've qualified you and revealed direction with you as a human being, you specifically, not your neighbor, not the 10 other people, not any other buddy, just you, and have that conversation with you, I won't get anywhere. And the reason that they don't have solar on the roof is most likely because everybody's coming through doing the exact same thing and getting the exact same results, and the results are there's no solar on the roof because nobody's qualified, okay? After qualifying, we have objections. Objections is literally the art of revealing objections, right? When I'm qualifying, I'm trying to determine what's wrong. Why don't you have it? Who told you that? What made you think that? When did you learn that? Who's heard this one? It's too expensive. What? What do you mean? It's actually cheaper. When I hear something like that, what does that tell me about the person? They have a misconception or a misunderstanding of what's being said or the way that the product works. And if we look at this, I'm going to come back to, we're going to focus on objections and legitimacy today. But what they're saying is, I think it's too expensive. There must be money down. There has to be some scam or trick. There's something going on here that I don't trust because what you're saying sounds too good to be true and I don't understand it, so I can't afford it. It's too expensive. And in your mind, you're like, well, what do you mean you can't afford it? It's cheaper. That's stupid. But it's not stupid because you're not thinking of their psychology. You're thinking from your brain, not their brain. Something's going on, and that's called legitimacy of offer, and we're going to come back through that. We're going to go through objections and legitimacy primarily today through the sales cycle. But through my qualifying process, I'm trying to reveal direction. My direction is to determine why you don't have solar. Once I determine why you don't have solar, you've told me, then I can present. Presenting is the art of building value, okay? So Zig Ziglar said, I'm not going to give you my big stack of money for your little stack of benefits. Just not going to do it. I don't see value in what you're talking about. Now that I've qualified, revealed direction, pulled out what your objection is, I can then build value on my product based on what you have told me specifically. So on doors, I'm like a surgeon. Specifically, we're going to talk about what's bothering you. We're going to have a conversation. I don't pitch on doors. My pitch is, hi, I'm Lee. I'm with Sun Solar Solutions. Working with your neighbor down the street. Stopping through, talking to all the other homeowners. They're already giving me the faces and the looks. I'm controlling it. I know my people have been by here over the last 3 weeks. Your neighbor said 15 of us. Would you just mind if I asked, why don't you have solar? In some form of that. What that's trying to do is initiate combat. I'm moving my pawn out on the chessboard. What's the first move on the chessboard? Pawn. What's their next move? Pawn. What's my next move? Rook. This is a chess match. So once they tell me what they know, then I can step into presenting. What people do chronically, especially in their first year or 2 years, is they're trying to present before they qualify or reveal objections. You're just running down the street with your solar wand trying to get people to sign up. I got solar, I got net metering, I got 30% tax credit, they're changing the bill, the thing's happening, it's great, it's a power plant. And no, 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 no. Because you're presenting a product that they don't want. Period. If they wanted it, where would it be? So you're running around telling them how great it is, and they don't want it. They don't care, and you haven't found out why, and you're wondering why you're not having success on doors. I'm not pinpointing anybody, but this is what we do. I went through this myself. Closing is the art of relieving pressure. Who's newer in their first year? Who's in their first couple months? What's your name? Gabriel. Good to meet you. I'm Lee. How often do you go to a door and you're nervous? How did you feel? Nervous? Does that feel like pressure? Yeah. What do you think they feel like? Probably the same. This is what they feel like. Oh shit, it's one of those. And they're coming to the door and they're loaded with pressure. It's pressure. Who's heard the term always be closing? The term always be closing reflects always be relieving pressure. And I've asked this before, but who's read Pitch Anything? In Pitch Anything, they talk about lizard brain. Who's tried to talk to somebody who was drunk? Who's tried to have an argument? Who's tried to have a rational argument with somebody that was drunk? How does that go? If you take human psychology, when we have a human being in fight or flight, they're in a state literally of fight or flight. There's cortisol rushing through their body. What they want is they want you to go away. They want you to get out of here. They don't care what's going on. Nothing matters but you leaving and you telling all your friends and going on whatever thing you have and telling all the rest of them to never come to my door again. That's the state that they're in when they're coming to the door. And guess what? They don't want it. And they didn't ask you to come, and they're full of pressure. Always be closing means from the moment that you open the door or the moment that we encounter each other, I'm immediately trying to relieve pressure. The sales cycle runs in both directions. And we'll teach looping at another time, but what you do in a sales cycle is you just loop. You just loop. Remember when we did training yesterday and you asked me a question, you said, how do we get paid? And I'd already explained how we got paid. And do you remember what I did? I just went backwards. Because she gave me another objection, and when I get an objection after I've qualified and presented, and they ask me another question, I presented, I said, this is how we get paid. And she said, how do you get paid again? And I said, boop, legitimacy, qualifying. And I just went backwards. So closing is the art of relieving pressure. That means from the moment that we encounter each other, I'm trying to calm you down, I'm trying to slow the roll. I'm trying to look, sound, act like a professional. What that does is it cools the sauce, brings the cortisol levels down in the human being. Because I can't argue with lizard brain, I can't argue with fight or flight, just like I can't argue with a drunk person. So until I can get you to do those things, I can't qualify and reveal objections because you're not willing to talk to me about them. And even if you are, and you're still in a heightened state, you're not going to reveal the true objections. Okay, so the better you understand the sales cycle is built off of sales psychology. What's happening with this human being in front of me? Who's seen speed chess? They move, another person, and it's just, they're just moving. That's what doors are like. Move, 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 move. The moves are happening with metaverbal. They're happening with tonality. They're happening with the words coming out of your mouth. Everything that you're doing and saying during those moments is part of the chess match. And you're either going to win more chess matches or lose more chess matches based on your ability to understand what's happening on each move. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to hit on qualifying just a little bit. So as you're going through doors over the next week, what I want you guys to focus on is, am I qualifying? Am I actually finding out, okay, why is this so important? Because Josh was able to come to me today and tell me actually a couple of different homeowners and what they were saying, and I gave him some really easy things to say to those things to build legitimacy. So what I have to do in that moment is I have to create trust with somebody who doesn't believe the legitimacy of what I'm saying. Okay, and I'm going to go through these. The number one, to me, there's one, singular, one objection, especially in solar sales. One, it's legitimacy. Within legitimacy, we have what's called the 3 tenets of legitimacy. If you want to understand the 3 tenets of legitimacy better, read Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. He's a goat. The 3 tenets of legitimacy state rep legitimacy, company legitimacy, and offer legitimacy. And what Jordan states in the book is that these are a 1 through 10 scale. And if you are at a 7 or below on any one of the 3, no deal. If you don't trust me personally, meaning, and this is what we talked about yesterday, if you don't, and what does that mean? It doesn't, oh, Lee has tattoos, doesn't have anything to do with it. You could not trust me because I look nervous. You could not trust me because I have tattoos. You could not trust me because I don't sound like I know what I'm talking about. You could not trust me because you just don't like my face. Right? What's that movie where the guy says, there's something about your face, I just want to punch it. The rep legitimacy can fall into a lot of things. Right? But if I'm not a 7 or above on rep legitimacy, no deal. The next one is company legitimacy. I'm going to pick somebody. Dan, name 3 taxi companies in Las Vegas. He knew it. What? He knows 3. The point of this is that most people, when you ask them about a solar company, what are they going to say? Sunrun. Why are they going to say Sunrun? Sunrun Costco. Sunrun Costco. Do you know another solar company? I don't. Legitimacy of company is important because they have to trust your company, who they are, what their offer is, that they're stable, that they're a good construction company. They've never heard of them, so you have to introduce legitimacy of company. Not at all times, but these are the 3 tenets of legitimacy. Every person's not going to ask you about your company. But we were able to talk through some legitimacy on his objection. I'll go through that in a second. The last one is legitimacy of offer. The legitimacy of offer is the offer of solar in totality. The reason that they don't have solar on their roof right now is because they do not believe in the offer. It's not that they don't believe in you. It's not they don't believe in Sun Solar Solutions. It's not that they don't believe in Sunrun or Freedom or Legacy or anybody you can think of. They don't even know who any of those people are. They don't even care. They just don't believe in the offer of solar because something's wrong. Something made them not trust the system or the process. And so when we're looking at qualifying, you have to understand that through legitimacy and qualifying, you have to, 1, build trust on yourself. And then this is the next most important thing that we have to learn how to do, guys. We have to learn how to identify the objection correctly and speak directly on the objection that the customer's speaking on. So we're going to go through some of these. Not interested. It's not even a real objection. It's a smokescreen. But it's on the objection list because everybody hears it. Why aren't they interested? Because something has led them, I'm going to circle back here. They're not interested because something in their mind has led them to believe that they don't trust or want solar. There's some legitimacy factor that's made them just not interested in solar. Because I don't want it, because of this, because of what? I don't know. Because I'm moving. Because my wife doesn't want it. And all those things come right back to legitimacy. There's something about it I don't want. Okay, so we're going to take that, not interested, off the table. What is not interested? Legitimacy. Let's go to moving. Now, not moving next month. It's not real. If they're moving next month, most of them aren't. They're not. They're not moving. Everybody's moving in 7 years. Go look up the statistics. Everybody's moving. Where do you live? Yep. What, a house, apartment? How long do you live there? You lived somewhere else before that? Think you'll live somewhere else after that? What about you? Where do you live? Here? How long have you been in Vegas? Where'd you live before that? Where? In a house? Huh? But how long did you live in that place? How about the place before that? Place before, okay, so 10 and 4, what's the aggregate? 7. What about the place before? I can do this with 100 people, and the aggregate is the aggregate. Everybody's moving in the next 7 years. It's not a real objection. What's the objection? I don't trust what will happen when I move. I think it'll be hard. I don't think somebody will buy my house. I don't think I'll be able to list it. I think I'm going to have to cover some kind of crazy bill. I think somebody's going to, I don't know, I just don't trust it because I've never done it. I've sold a house with solar. Do you know how easy it was? Super easy. Real easy. Super easy. A lot of my customers have sold a house, but they're not concerned about moving. They don't see value in your product because their concern of what happens when they move outweighs your value. I'd rather not save money for the next 4 or 5 years because if I do sell my house, I don't trust what'll happen. That's what they're saying. And so the more you start to think about what they mean rather than what they're saying, the more you can hit what actually is important. I understand you're moving. Let me explain what happens when you move. Let me help you gain trust in the process of when you move. Now, if somebody's talking to me about moving, do you think I'm talking about net metering, roofs, inverters, panels, tax credits? Why? Doesn't matter. That's not why they don't have solar. They don't have solar because they think they're moving at some time, which they're right, they're moving. And they don't trust what will happen when they move. Does this make sense? The next thing, we're going to go up to, I already have. So this is actually Vivint, the GOAT of all sales, came up with this sales cycle. I'm not the grandfather of this. Already have, what does that mean? Do they already have electricity? They do. I already have it. What's that mean? I don't trust what you have enough to switch from what I already have. Right? Jamie, do you have a car? I'm going to give you another car. It's just $20,000. Congratulations. But you got to give me $20,000. Why not?
I already have a car.
Yeah, but my car's, it's a nice car.
It's nice.
Come on, just take my car. Please take my car.
$20,000 car.
Well, it's in good shape. I can't build value on something that she already has if she doesn't see the value in it. So she's more secure. Now, if I said, Jamie, your car is actually worth $15,000, I'm willing to give you $15,000 even for your car and give you this $30,000 car for $20,000. So you actually get a big upgrade. I'm going to take your car off. I'm going to give you new warranties. I'm going to give you a new 50,000 mile. Now, I could have qualified her and said, how much is left on your warranty? This would be qualified. How much is left on your warranty? What are the tires look like? What engine is it? How many miles are on it? I'm like, okay, well, your car is 15 years old and there's no warranties on it. And it's only worth $15,000. What if I took that car off you? How much is your payment? It's $400. Well, shoot. What if I took that car off your hands and replaced it with a better car with new warranties, with new tires, with a new engine, And instead of $400, you only had to pay $300. Now would you be more interested? Huh?
Yeah, you got my attention.
So when we look at already have, we have to look at that as it's still legitimacy. Why? Because they're not, we're going to go down here. I already have it. I'm not interested in it because what I have, I feel more secure with. I don't see any value in your product. Why don't I see any value in your product? Because I don't trust it. I'd rather stay with the devil I'm with than the devil I don't know. That's right. Okay, so decision maker. This one, to me, guys, it's not even an objection because, why? Because I don't deal with it. I don't deal with it. If you're not the decision maker, it's like you just told me you had bad credit. Okay, Josh, when's the decision maker coming home? That's what I'm going to say. When can I talk to the boss? Is the boss going to be there? No. When is the boss going to be there? So decision maker is your fault. Okay, no need. I don't need it. Why don't I need it? Because I already have it. Why do I already have it? Not because I don't want yours. Why? Because I don't trust yours. I like to be with the one I'm with. You see how all of this starts to merge together? So the number one objection is legitimacy. So you have to focus on that. So when you're talking to people, there's going to be different stuff with different, like if we go to new homeowner route, new homeowners are going to have different sounding objections. Tell me what this objection is. I like solar, but I haven't got a power bill yet. I know I have an engineering department and I have the stuff and we get these things from these people and they do math and like, I'm going to, give you solar. This is what we do. We're new homeowners. Yeah, I don't want it. Well, you just said you're interested. I know, but I don't want it because I don't know how much electricity I'm going to have in a year. What are they saying? They're saying, I don't trust you to know what my power is going to be over the next year. I don't believe your offer. Right? Comes to legitimacy. Somebody tell me another objection they think they hear. Any objection? What's a good one?
I just moved in. I got stuff everywhere.
I'm too busy. Okay, so I just moved. This is a little bit different. I just moved in. It's not even really an objection. I'm going to hit that one before I come. I just moved in. I'm too busy. I don't have time for your offer. That's going to be a little bit different. I don't have to, because I'm going to squash that one before I even get to a new homeowner. With new homeowners, I'm going to hit that one right away. Jamie, I know you're busy. I'm the new homeowner manager. I know you guys got boxes and pictures and you're going to work every day and the bathroom's not even set up and you got projects going on. Like, I get it. I've moved into some new houses. That's why I specialize in the new homeowners. Is that kind of what you guys got going on? 100%. Have you guys thought about solar?
It is something that we want to look into.
Okay, perfect. So, good one, but you should be beating that to the punch. It's not really an objection. It's a smoke screen. Okay, so presenting. What I'm doing is I'm determining exactly what is going on with the person. Okay, so I'm going to go through, I have a hard stop here in about 10 minutes, but I'm going to go through who has a slick? Just give me yours. So, Josh's guy told him, I don't want it because I had it in California and I got 2 bills. It's a legitimacy issue. Who's heard this before? Somebody I know has 2 bills. Are you going to outweigh the facts of his situation without being able to explain how it happened and build legitimacy? Absolutely not. Let's say that my daughter, friend, son, my buddy, my real estate agent got solar a year ago. And every time I've taught, I'm like, hey, the solar, how do you like your solar? I hate it. You hate it? Yeah, I got ripped off. I got 2 bills. You did? Yeah, it's awful. Worst experience of my life. Paradigm. Don't get solar because it's a ripoff. You have 2 bills. It's all a scam. And then here you come. You want the net metering? You want stuff? Blah, blah, blah. And you knock on the door and you start to do your thing and you get past the smoke screens. And then he says, what? I don't want it because I don't trust it. I don't trust it because my buddy and my other buddy and my friend and everybody, they all had bad experiences. They just met me. Is it possible for me to build more legitimacy and trust with that person and to overcome those things? It is possible, but I have to know how to do it. So I have to hit the heart of what's happening, and to do that, I have to explain what happened. So I'm just going to go through this as a basics example of why. Now, I'm not talking to him about net metering. Why? He doesn't care about net metering. He's going to get ripped off. I'm not talking to him about his roof. Why? Doesn't care. He's going to get ripped off. I'm not talking to him anything about why people get two bills. Okay, we went through this yesterday, Alex. I'm going to go through the same exact, this principle. This is Miyagi, wax on, wax off. These are the three calculations in all of solar. In California and in Arizona and I think in Illinois and a few other places that have batteries, there will be a fourth portion to this equation that will be a battery. But the three primary equations in solar are this. Super simple, Mr. Homeowner. Do you know what these are on the side of your power bill? No. These are kilowatt hours. Do you know what a kilowatt hour is? Most of them don't. A kilowatt hour is a unit of measurement for electricity. Just like a calorie is a unit of measurement for energy in the human body. Just like miles per gallon for gas is a unit of measurement, right? So I'll say this to people. Why? Because I need to build trust. I need to show you how people got ripped off so that I can prove that I'm not going to do that to you. I'm the good one. I'm the one that's going to educate you. So I'm going to start with kilowatt hours. Do you know what those are? No. Let me explain them. It's a unit of measurement for electricity. Do you understand kind of how you get billed? Most of them don't. In Texas, they do because they're switching power companies all the time. You go up to Texas store and they're like, I pay 14 cents with XYZ. And you go to the next one and like, I just signed up with a little bit different. But they know what a kilowatt hour is. So I'm going to say perfect. So the first equation is it's our responsibility to determine how many kilowatt hours you're using in each of the 12 months. And that will give us your annual kilowatt usage. From there, the next step of the equation is to determine what size power plant I need to build to produce that much electricity in a 1-year period. The last part of the equation is I need to determine how much roof space I need to facilitate the power plant. Does that make sense? Are you tracking me? Everybody's tracking me? Is that so simple? A 12-year-old, could a 12-year-old, 13-year-old understand that? Perfect. Now let me explain how your friends got ripped off. I wasn't present, but anywhere we do solar in the nation, those are our three primary key components in determining what size power plant a homeowner's needed. Now we have fiduciary responsibilities. This is how I talk to homeowners. I have fiduciary responsibility to make sure that I take care of you, cut through the red tape, do all the heavy lifting, but that you understand how the power plant is designed and built and that it's correct. What happens a lot of the time is either you have somebody that doesn't understand those equations and they're building out the proposal or the design for the homeowner and they're miscalculating it. That can be one, which is still bad. That means that that person shouldn't be selling solar because they don't know how to calculate the proper power plant. The next and most common thing that happens is that people take advantage of people. And just like you didn't know what a kilowatt hour was, even though you've already had solar, the person that was calculating your last power plant should have known or did know. They determined that you did not have enough roof space to facilitate the correct size power plant on your roof. And they did not disclose that to you in order to make a sale. That's the most generalized way people get taken advantage of, and they end up with two bills. We're a little bit different. What we're going to do when we come into your home, and I can go into legitimacy of company. Sun Solar Solutions has been in business for 10 years. We're a platinum installer. We have amazing installation processes. We've done over 12,000 installations. So we're not just some company out of North Las Vegas selling solar panels. We have no debt, right? What we're going to do is we're going to come into your home and we're going to teach you how we're designing a power plant. And so what happened to you last time will absolutely not happen. Now, the reason I stopped by your house is because it looks to me, from an educated perspective, that you have adequate roof space to facilitate the power plant that you need. But if you don't, I'm going to tell you. And one of the ways that we can fact check this is we'll call the utility when we come in, and we can go month by month, and they'll tell us exactly what your kilowatt hour usage are so that we can see what your annual usage was. And then I can show you the system that I built, the power plant, and that it will produce that much or more electricity in a 1-year period. And then I'll show you the design that shows the roof space that will facilitate. So I can understand that it happened, but it won't happen with me. Now that won't work every time, but does it sound like it might work with somebody? Yes, why? Because I've created legitimacy of rep. I'm sharp as a tack, I'm enthusiastic about what I'm saying, and I'm knowledgeable as hell. I'm the guy you can trust because I know how you got ripped off, and I guarantee it won't happen with me. You know why? Do you know how many deals I've walked away from personally because I show this 50% offset? 50% away from the devil's better than 100% with them, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have integrity. That's what I'm trying to present at the door, all right? And then from there, we're going to go, so presenting, they've told me their objection was that. I presented a solution specifically to what he was talking to me about. Not about the roof, not about the net metering, not about the panels, not about the inverters, not about the law, not about the tax credit, nothing. He doesn't care about any of that. All he cares about was I got ripped off. And then I'm going to close. So closing in 2 formats. 1, relieving pressure at all times. How much calmer is this person that's talking to me right now than he was before he talked to me after about this subject? He should be calmer because he believes what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is the truth. I've got him out of lizard brain and I've got him into cognitive thinking. And I've just tried to create something in his mind that says, hey, I'll do business with this guy. Does that make sense? And then closing. So Josh, does all that make sense? Okay, perfect. So like I said, 100% you'll be able to count on us. What I need to do my job correctly is I'm going to need to gather a photo of your power bill. I'm going to need to gather a photo of your power bill. And from there, I'm going to get my numbers. What did you say you did for work? Okay, great. What are your days off? Every afternoon? Okay, so today's Friday. How does tomorrow look for you? And you said you're not married? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to get this information. I'm going to go snap a picture of your electrical panel so I know what's going on with that. You're going to give me a picture of the power bill. And then what's a good time tomorrow? How's 10 o'clock? You can do 10 o'clock or noon. Which one works better? Noon? Okay, perfect. We'll do that. And then I'm going to close, okay? So I have a hard stop, but I'm just going to review. So prospecting, the art of finding the client most likely to buy in the moment right now. Stop pitching and start qualifying. Your pitch is who I am, who I'm with, and what I'm doing. That's it. I just showed up on your door and you opened the door and I'm a stranger. This is who I am. I'm Lee Barber. I'm with Sun Solar Solutions, and I'm here to talk to you about lowering your power bill and switching power companies and getting a power purchase agreement. That's what I'm here to do. That's my pitch. It's over. Why don't you have it? Let's talk about that. I'm going to stay in the phone booth with you. Anybody see there's this thing where 2 fighters, anybody seen 2 fighters get in a phone booth and fight each other in a phone booth? Get in the phone booth. Be engaged with them. Start to determine what's wrong. Reveal their objections and then build a presentation based on what they said, not what you think they need to know, what they need to know to change their paradigm, and then close their face. Does that make sense? All right. It's a good one. That's all I got. Let's go.